everybody, I'm Amy, and today I am going to show you a postnatal workout for after pregnancy to help regain your strength and get active. So this workout is great for anybody in the postpartum period as long as you have been cleared by your doctor for exercise after having your baby, which usually occurs around 6 to 8 weeks. I'll give you lots of different options and of course, listen to your body. We'll be doing both body weight exercises and incorporating some dumbbells. Today, I'll be using my Bowflex adjustable Select Tech dumbbells set on 5 pounds. Let's do it. Okay, so when we are coming back after having a baby, particularly if it's in those first 6 or 8 weeks, it's really important to be restoring and strengthening that core from the inside out. We don't want to jump right back into our planks or our crunches, especially if we think or know that we have what we call diastasis recti, that ab separation. But even if we don't, we've got to be strengthening and restoring that core in a very specific way. So we're gonna start with our TA breathing. So we talk about this in pregnancy as well, really important in the postnatal period as well. So your transverse abdominis, your TA, is your deepest layer of core muscles, and working in conjunction with that pelvic floor, a great thing that you can do even before you're cleared for regular exercise is just TA breaths. So starting here, I want you to do a big inhale, expand through that barrel, through the sides, all the way through. And then as you exhale, or you can even do a shh, you're pulling everything in. So you can almost use your hands like you're pushing those muscles together. Not here, not here, but just think that you're reconnecting those muscles while you pull up gently with a nice gentle Kegel or pulling up on that pelvic floor. So inhale looks like this. Exhale, pulling up and in. Notice the only thing that's moving is through my core. So you can use that engagement throughout the rest of your exercises, but as much as you can be doing those TA breaths, very intentionally taking your time, connecting with that pelvic floor and that deep core, that is going to be really helpful in re-strengthening your core coming back after having the baby. So our next couple moves, something that I think is super important in the postnatal period is strengthening your back and your shoulders. Everything that we're doing, especially if you're early postpartum with the baby, is pulling us forward, right? So we're feeding the baby, we're rocking the baby, we're changing the baby, we're picking the baby up, putting it down. So great to be working the entire body, but as much as you can be training the back and the shoulders, as well as glutes and hamstrings, the better you're gonna feel. So I would say just your basic bent over row. You can even stagger it this way and just taking one, or you can put one knee up on a chair or a bench. So working through to strengthen those back muscles. Along the same lines, another exercise that I would recommend is a deadlift, and I would say starting with just your body weight as you're getting a feel for connecting with those muscles again. So just taking your hands right in front of your knees, hinging at the hips, making sure that that back is straight, slight bend, just here to here. It's gonna feel really good for a stretch. And then as you get stronger, you could incorporate those weights. So again, keeping them close to the front of the legs, about mid-calf, up and squeeze, dropping them down, up and squeeze. So working with that. And then our next exercise, I would say, would just be that plie squat. And of course, you could add a little shoulder press to that. So plie squat nice and wide, reconnecting with those legs and glutes, which probably stayed pretty strong during pregnancy, but in the postpartum period, early on, you're spending a lot of time sitting with that baby. So squeezing up and in, pulling in with that deep core, that TA breath, and then lifting up in that Kegel, nice gentle lift, dropping it down, squeezing it. As you're ready, you could add a little press here, here, powering it up. And again, working the shoulders, not worrying too much about those muscles in the front because they're already working overtime, but making sure that we're getting some good stretching as well. And then our last two exercises are going to be down on the mat. So as we've talked about before, we don't want to jump right into our planks or our traditional crunches. Even if our core is feeling good and we know that we don't have diastasis recti, we want to be starting slow and working from the inside out. So a really great exercise for postpartum is toe taps and then eventually into a dead bug. So bringing it here, and probably if you're newly postpartum, you're going to feel that pretty quickly in the core, and you can just tap one at a time. And think about that TA breath, exhaling as you're pulling everything in. And then once you feel good about that, you can add that little dead bug, opposite arm, opposite leg. Inhale, exhale, knitting everything together. Thinking about that TA breath, pulling that deep core in. And then our last exercise that's great for postpartum is your traditional bridge. So you're here, think about that TA breath, slowly rolling it up, lifting up into that bridge, connecting with the core, pulling the deep core in, lifting in the pelvic floor, squeezing glutes and hamstrings, and then slowly down. So you're strengthening your core, your back, your glutes and hamstrings, and then also just connecting with the breath, just like that. So just remember as you're coming back, whether you start back at 6 weeks postpartum or many months or years postpartum, that you want to be gentle with your body, that a lot has changed. Your body has done something amazing in growing and carrying and delivering that baby. So even if you were working out really hard before, it's going to be different. You're going to want to start a little lighter, go a little easier. It's going to take more time, and that is all okay. You're already strong. You just want to find some ways to really strengthen in the right ways postpartum and to feel good.